For pretty much the entire season, the Middle East has been a one-team region, with Sandrock Gaming at the top. There are other teams who are worthy of respect and could always put up a solid fight, but at the end, Sandrock would always win. This season, through Winter Regional 2, Sandrock have won 103 individual games in the online regionals, and they've only lost 24, giving them a crazy 81% win rate, and they've only been taken to the final game of the series twice. And there are a bunch of crazy stats that illustrate their dominance, like the fact that all 3 starters are in the top 5 in the region for goals, assists, shooting percentage, and octane rating. This shows that all 3 players are great in every area of the field, but they each still have their clearly defined role for the team. Ahmad is the most aggressive player, and most of the time he's the one that's leading the attack with his crazy speed and mechanics. And TRK is usually right there with him on offense, following up on a lot of Ahmad's plays, either to take a shot or to make the next pass. And finally, you have oKhalid, the 1v1 legend who was easily the most defensive player on the team, while still managing to be a key part of the offense. But even though they're all fantastic players, if you need one of them to make a game-breaking play on offense, it's probably going to be Ahmad, like he did here. He finds Khalid in the offensive corner and throws a pass to him up in the air. Khalid connects with it and sends it straight down into the middle to TRK. He doesn't get the contact that he's looking for on the shot and ends up being really soft and is saved away. The save goes straight out to Ahmad, who throws another pass, this time going infield to Khalid. They get another save, but once again the ball goes into an area where Ahmad is the only player that can follow up on it, and he even has enough time to drive out to the mid boost to pick that up. He drives straight to the ball and looks like he's going to take it around the corner, so Impressive charges out and jumps up to challenge him before that happens. But Ahmad comes to a complete stop before making contact, faking the touch instead, and he watches Impressive fly by. With the extra space that the fake got him, he turns to the center and throws one more infield pass, this time to TRK. He gets a strong hit, and the defense doesn't have a chance at the save. And of course, I can't talk about this team without bringing up their super sub Senzo, a player who would likely be the best player on most other teams in the region. Even after dominating the Middle East and playing well against European teams in their online competitions, many people were skeptical about Sandrock's chances at the Fall Major, and even more so when it was announced that Senzo would be stepping in for Khalid at that event. But Senzo played really well, showing off his great offensive positioning and shooting ability, while helping Sandrock finish in the top 8, getting wins over G2, Furia, and Ground Zero. After TRK gets the double demo, Ahmad throws the ball into the middle of the field by bouncing it off the sidewall, and Senzo is in position to take a shot. But instead of taking it immediately, which he probably should have done, because there was no way that Drees or Chicago would make the save in time if he got a good shot off. But he slows down and gets in position for the 50. After demo plays like this, the offense usually rushes to the goal immediately, and knowing this, Chicago dives in to try to disrupt the play before it's too late. But Senzo gets sideways and backflips away from the ball to block Chicago's clear. And Ahmad was in position to follow up on the 50, but he wasn't even needed, because the ball bounces straight into the goal right off the challenge. But even with all the good things that I've said about Sandrock so far, I've left out a pretty important detail. When I was talking about Sandrock's dominance in the region, I brought up all of their wins and all of their stats, but I didn't bring up the fact that they aren't undefeated in the regionals. They were for the first 4 events, but in Winter Event 2, someone was finally able to take down the Middle Eastern monsters. In the upper semifinals, Scytes managed to beat them in Game 7 and ruin their undefeated record. Scytes' team consists of Evil and IX, 2 players who were relatively unknown before their recent success, and one more player that you're probably already familiar with if you keep up with the 1v1 scene, and that's Fahad. For all of Regional 2, Fahad was serving as the team's primary playmaker, dominating possession with his great ball skills and consistently making life difficult for the defense. IX was a force in both goals, running back and forth on the field to score the most for his own team, while also serving as the last line of defense most often. It was a playstyle that's honestly pretty reminiscent of Justin or Monkey Moon, who make the biggest impact for their teams when they're near the goal on offense and defense. And Evil had the least statistical impact on the team, but he did a great job of holding down the midfield and buying time for IX to go from goal to goal, and generally doing what he could to make things difficult for the opponents. Here, Fahad is racing Khalid to the ball for the 50, and in order to get there on time, he has to leave the mid boost. He ends up winning the 50, and the ball goes up to the ceiling. But because he's low on boost now, he can't pull off a real air dribble. So he jumps off and flips into the ball, looking to set up his teammates instead. Evil is first to go for it, and he jumps for the ball to take the shot, and he misses entirely. But this works out really well for them, because TRK had to jump up and commit to blocking Evil's potential shot. And since Evil didn't actually hit the ball, that shot never came, and TRK flies right by. This leaves it wide open for IX, who has time to line up his touch. He beats Ahmad to the ball, and he places the shot perfectly, going off the post and into the goal. Making plays like this helped Scytes to be the first team to knock off Sandrock Gaming and ruin their perfect record. So when they met again later that tournament in the grand finals, Scytes had the advantage of only needing to win one series to be champions, while Sandrock had to win 2 in a row. And Scytes had all the confidence in the world after beating Sandrock the day before. Just one more win, and they would take away a title that Sandrock had claimed so many times before. But Sandrock swept them. Twice, actually. Sandrock beat them 8 games in a row and walked away as regional champs. Again. So in the biggest moment, the best team in the Middle East stepped up once again and proved that they are still the best team in the Middle East. And they're not looking to drop that title anytime soon. But now, thanks to Scytes, we know that they can be beaten. And with the development of all the other Middle Eastern teams, in addition to new players becoming RLCS eligible in the near future, Sandrock is going to have to fight for that right to stay at the top. But if we know them, it's a fight that they'll be more than ready for. Thanks for watching.